Jodie has staged a comeback that rivals every famous boy band reunion from the 1990s combined. Her obsessive campaign to get revenge on Shona should have come to an end after her Fatal Attraction-style attempt to seduce David Platt ended in complete failure. Instead, she managed to work her way back into Shona's trust and even returned to number 6 Coronation Street, much to David's frustration. Many viewers have wondered why Shona would allow such a dangerous influence back into her home, but actress Julia Goulding believes there is a clear explanation. According to Julia, Shona has been completely drained both physically and emotionally while caring for baby Harper in hospital. During that difficult time, Jodie stepped in to help with everyday tasks, making herself seem essential. As a result, Shona's guard was lowered, and she simply didn't have the emotional strength to challenge Jodie's increasingly worrying behavior. Julia explained that Shona doesn't believe anything inappropriate actually happened between Jodie and David, but chooses to ignore the warning signs because it is the only way she can cope with everything happening in her life. That response is understandable, considering everything Shona and David have endured over the past year. Their world fell apart after learning that their unborn daughter Harper had developed a cancerous tumor on her neck. The operation needed to remove it put Shona's own life at risk, and even after Harper was born prematurely, she remained in hospital for weeks before finally being allowed home. Julia said Shona is emotionally hanging by a thread, which has made it much easier for Jodie to manipulate her. Although Shona is thrilled to have Harper home, she is overwhelmed with anxiety because she has missed many of the normal milestones that new parents experience. She constantly worries whether she is doing everything right. Throughout this difficult period, Jodie has repeatedly brought chaos into the Platt family's lives. She stole a mysterious hard drive from her dangerous ex-partner, triggering violent men to come looking for her, and she even attacked Sarah Platt from behind. Despite everything, Shona still finds reasons to defend her. Julia explained that Shona genuinely believed Jodie had mistaken Sarah for one of the men chasing her. Since Jodie was living in constant fear, Shona understood why she reacted so aggressively, even though she was disappointed that Jodie lied about what had happened. Shona also overlooks Jodie's strange habit of stealing sentimental possessions from neighbors to build an unusual collection of keepsakes hidden inside a secret box. Sarah only became a target because she accidentally discovered the collection, and Jodie panicked that the truth about her stealing would be exposed. Julia believes Shona dismisses the entire situation because she is so consumed by Harper's health problems. To her, the box simply appears to contain Jodie's personal belongings, and she has no idea about Jodie's long history of theft. With everything else on her mind, she simply doesn't have the energy to question it. However, there is one line Shona refuses to let Jodie cross, and that is putting her children in danger. The situation reaches breaking point when Jodie secretly hides the gun that Carl Webster previously used during the dramatic garage showdown. Everything falls apart when Lily discovers the weapon hidden among Jodie's collection of stolen items. Julia revealed that Shona is absolutely furious. With young children living in the house, the discovery is completely unacceptable. Jodie desperately tries to convince everyone that the gun is fake and eventually produces a replica that eases some of their fears. Even so, the whole incident is deeply upsetting, especially after everything Lily has already been manipulated into believing. Many fans have questioned why Jodie is so determined to destroy her sister's life. At the heart of her actions is a deep sense of abandonment. She has never forgiven Shona for leaving their troubled family behind when she was just a teenager. When asked whether she personally sympathizes with Jodie, Julie admitted that she understands her feelings but still believes she is wrong. She pointed out that Shona herself was only 13 years old when she was forced out of the family home. Ever since then, Shona has carried overwhelming guilt for leaving Jodie behind, as well as lingering pain connected to her son, Clayton. Those experiences have left her terrified of failing the young people she cares about. Julia was referring to Clayton Hibbs, the son Shona gave birth to as a teenager, who later murdered David's wife, Kylie Platt, on the cobbles. With Jodie's revenge far from over, Julia hinted that viewers should expect even more disturbing developments. She explained that Shona rarely notices Jodie's manipulation because her attention is constantly focused on Harper and everything happening around her. Producers have told her that Jodie forms close friendships with children like Lily and Harry because she emotionally thinks much like a child herself. During filming, Julia often has her back turned while Jodie is carrying out her schemes, meaning Shona remains completely unaware of what is happening. Julia also revealed that fans regularly approach her to warn Shona about her sister. People often tell her that Jodie cannot be trusted, but she simply smiles and tells them to keep watching because the situation becomes even worse. Coronation Street unveils first look at Sunday's episode as Sam returns home. Although ITV's schedule has finally settled after weeks of sports-related disruption, viewers are still being treated to a special Sunday episode of Coronation Street, and an early preview has now been released. The new scenes focus on Sam Blakeman as he returns to Weatherfield following his stay in hospital, where he was diagnosed with schizophrenia. While he's relieved to be home, it's clear he's struggling to face the future. Speaking honestly with Leanne, Sam admits that being in hospital made everything feel temporary. Now that he's back on the street, however, the reality of living with his condition has truly begun to sink in. He explains that he now has to accept schizophrenia as something that will remain part of his life, rather than something that will simply disappear. Leanne does her best to comfort him, reminding him that effective medication is available and reassuring him that many people with the condition are able to live full and ordinary lives. Despite her encouragement, Sam admits he no longer knows what normal actually means, leaving him uncertain about what his future will look like. Coronation Street, Lisa delivers a serious warning after Sarah finally confesses. Lisa Swain finally uncovered the truth about Theo Silverton's death during the latest episode of Coronation Street, but her reaction has only made the situation even more dangerous. The drama began with Maria Connor visiting Sarah Platt in prison after discovering that Sarah was responsible for Theo's death. Determined to get answers, Maria questioned why Sarah had turned to Gary Windus for help instead of contacting her boyfriend, Kit Green. Sarah insisted she wasn't thinking clearly after everything that had happened. She also denied ever mentioning Gary's name, but Maria remained deeply suspicious and refused to accept her explanation. Not long afterwards, Lisa arrived at the prison to question Sarah herself. She asked about Maria's visit before revealing that detectives had examined Sarah's phone records from the night Theo died. At first, Sarah repeated her earlier claim that she had told Maria she wasn't the killer. However, after continued questioning, she finally admitted to Lisa that she had been responsible for Theo's death. Sarah explained that after the fatal incident, she was attacked inside number 8, leaving her frightened and confused. When Lisa asked about the phone call made to Gary shortly afterwards, Sarah claimed she could barely remember making it. Lisa was clearly unconvinced. She pointed out that Sarah had just experienced an incredibly traumatic event and argued that it was only natural she would contact someone she trusted. Lisa also suggested that Gary's past made him exactly the sort of person who might know how to help cover up a killing. Whether Kit takes Lisa's advice or continues to put everything on the line for Sarah remains to be seen as the investigation moves into its next dramatic chapter.